All right. I'd like to start off by saying Barakatay Hawa, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Chakodash. Welcome to another live lesson. All right. The name of this one is a response to Thy Lot and Regeneration, which is a video that Elder Malcolm did. And I just put at the end / the wicked because I want to deal with that part of the lesson he was doing, Lord's will. But before we get started, just wanted to make a correction. The new moon is still Saturday Eve to Sunday Eve, but the new moon comes in on a Saturday evening, which is the 22nd, and I had the 23rd on there. So I just wanted to make that correction. Elder Pasatar put a comment, on the other new moon video that had the February 23rd. He said February 22nd at evening, and he's absolutely correct. So I just had the brother, redo it, put the 22nd on. That was an oversight on my part, so now this is it. Because whenever you keep the new moon, even though the new moon may fall like that, this Sunday where the new moon falls on is actually the 23rd, but we start celebrating it the evening before, because the scriptures say from evening to evening, so we celebrated the evening before, which is the actual Saturday night, which is February 22nd. So I just wanted to make that correction, to let brothers know. So in case you have uploaded the other new moon that says February 23rd to your page, if you could take that one off and put this one up. If you didn't do it, don't worry about it. But this is the actual date, February 22nd at evening, which is that Saturday coming up. All right, so now this is the video I was telling you about. Elder Malcolm did Thy Lot and Regeneration. And we're going to listen to some of it where he actually goes into, the Greeks and Esau and the wicked, and I kind of wanted to chime in on that because I watched this video, I believe it was either yesterday or the day before. I'm not sure. I don't really remember exactly when. And I wanted to do a response to this video concerning the part of the wicked. So that's why my lesson is called response, Thy Lot and Regeneration / the wicked. So let's listen to what Elder Malcolm was saying in this lesson, and then we can get into it.
Continue. And I mentioned how you fall into your lot. Well, the lot of the righteous man is to prophesy against the world and the things that are in it and those that love it. The lot of the wicked man is to be the wicked. That was their lot. So let's grab Ezekiel. Six and 2, because someone had to play the lot of the wicked. All right, and the wicked is pointed out in First Maccabees. It tells you what race, what nation, what man and his seed and the seed to come after him would be the wicked. But this is Ezekiel.
So you heard it, that the First Maccabees, it points out who the wicked are. Pretty much it points out the nationality of the wicked, and anyone with any common sense, knows that, or that, the newer generation may not know about it, but older generations know that Esau, which is a so-called white man, has always stated that civilization has started with the Greeks. Really, pretty much what he's saying is his civilization started with the Greeks, because they deem all the dark nations to be incapable of establishing an empire, even though when you go back in time, all those empires that were established by people of color, whether it was the Israelites or the Moabites or Ammonites or Hamites, different nations that were dark have had great civilizations which this devil has stole from. The only thing he's really contributed to the planet is rape, robbery, and murder, and many other things that are not nice, So with that being said, that civilization started with the Greeks. That's when the so-called white man, which are known as the Edomites in the Bible, took root on the earth. And when you go back to the beginning, you have three classifications of men on earth. You have from Noah and his three sons, Shem, Ham, and Japheth. The whole earth was repopulated again after the flood. And the Lord has, from the beginning, has had three classifications for men on the planet Earth. You have the sons of God, which are the Edomites back then, later became known as the Israelites. Then you have the sons of men, which are all of the other nations, excluding the nation of Israel and the nation of Esau or Edom. And then you have the sons of the wicked, which are the Edomites today. They came first, it was that serpent in the garden. Then from that point on, Cain and his descendants, they were the sons of the wicked. And after the flood, the sons of the wicked came back as the Edomites through a man named Esau, from a so-called black woman, so-called black man and a so-called black woman named Isaac and Rebekah. They had two sons, Jacob and Esau. One came out regular, as a regular child. The other one came out looking like a so-called white man. And Isaac named his name Esau, coming from the Hebrew word Ishashwa, meaning wasted away is he. And his name was later changed to Edom, or Adawam, which means red. And pretty much that's where the sons of the wicked came back through that line after the flood. All right. So you have three classifications of men on the earth, and and the classification of men that we're dealing with is the wicked, who are the Edomites. So now let's go real quick to Matthew chapter 13, verse 38. It says, hold on one second. It says, the field is the world. This is Yahushua breaking down the parable, of the sower, So he's breaking it down, what was meant by the whole parable, or the certain things of the parable. The field is the world, the good seed are the children of the kingdom. So now who are the children of the kingdom, which is the good seed? These are the Israelites. All right. It says, but the tares are the children of the wicked one. So we see that according to his parable, this meant that the good seed, the one that fell on the good seed, represented the children of the kingdom, which are the Israelites. But the tares that grew among the wheat were the children of the wicked one. So the wicked one has children on the planet Earth. And the wicked one, as we'll find out in this lesson, are the Edomites. But the point is that you have a group of people. You have wicked people among all nations. You have wicked people among the Israelites, among the Moabites and all the other nations. But the wicked on the planet is the so-called white men, which are known as the Edomites in the Bible. Matter of fact, let's get a quick precept on that. I was going to save that for later, but let's just go to it now. Malachi chapter 1. And we're going to jump straight to the 4th verse. Malachi 1 and 4. Whereas Edom saith, we are impoverished. Now, Edom was the name that the name of Esau was changed to. Edom is Adawam, which means red. So that was what his name was changed to. After he ate that, red pottage, so on and so forth. So Edom is the father of the so-called Edomites today, or not so-called, the Edomites today, which are so-called white people today. Let's go real quick to Genesis 36. Genesis 36 and 1. Now, these are the generations of Esau, who was Edom. Just to let you know that Esau and Edom are the same people. Sometimes the scriptures use the word Idumea. Sometimes they use Esau. Sometimes they use Edom, Edomites, Idumean. But it's all the same thing. Now, let's jump to the 8th verse. Thus dwelt Esau in Mount Seir. Esau is Edom. And when you look up Mount Seir, that's south, of Judah, around the Arabian, so-called Arabian or Ishmaelite people. And that's why they try to use that, say that the Arabs are Edomites, which they're not. Those Nabateans took over that land. Just like the Edomites were not Horites, because the Horites lived in the land of Edom before the Edomites got in it. And when they took over their land, they didn't become Horites. They were just Edomites that took over the land of the Horites. Just like the Nabateans didn't become Edomites, they just took over the land that the Edomites had at one time. And that's all that took place. All right, it says, and these are the generations of Esau, the father of the Edomites in Mount Seir. So now that we have that established that Esau are the Edomites, when we go back to Malachi 1 and 4, whereas Edom saith, we are impoverished, but we will return and build the desolate places, thus saith the Lord of hosts, they shall build, but I will throw down. And there's been no other nation that has really been able to build like Esau. You know, when we read some of the other precepts in prophecy, you know, how they build their habitations up high. The other nations built, you know, habitations and stuff like that. They built empires, but they never built buildings the way that Esau builds them, because this is a reminder to them of when they were living up in the caves, you know. And the other nations, the only other structure that they built that was tall was the Tower of Babel, you know, but the Lord destroyed that because he didn't want that to happen, because the people had one language and one speech. And the elder apostle Tar was just going into a lesson I was watching. I'm almost done watching it, but I just wanted to jump on this lesson real quick. It says, they shall build, but I will throw down. And there's no scripture that says that the Japhites would build like that, you know. You have this misconception that the so-called white man is or are are Japheth or the Japhites because they live in Europe. Well, the same way that they got up into the land of Israel and called themselves Jews is the same way that they got up into Europe and took over the dark nations of Japheth and implanted themselves there to become so-called European and to have the world believe that they are the so-called Europeans. It's because Esau is everybody, you know. But when you go back to the origins, the people that were living in those lands, the Etruscans and the Minoans and all the different sons of Japheth that were living there were all people of color. They were all brown-skinned people, you know, until Esau, through the Macedonians, which Philip, the father of Alexander himself conquered the known world. And from there they started overspreading over the whole earth and taking over the lands of these other nations, changing the name of the lands, putting their own names on it, you know, because this was the establishment of so-called white supremacy on the planet Earth. All right, which was so-called Edomite supremacy, because they were getting ready to come into power, and this is what happened. So from that point on, from the time that really Alexander the Creep conquered the known world, that's when Esau started to take over the whole world, because that was really the beginning of his empire. And when we read the scriptures with understanding, these historical prophetic scriptures that speak about these empires with understanding, we know that it began with Esau and is going to end with Esau, because at the very end of the deal, the Edomites would be ruling. And we see that so ever since the Greeks took over, really the other nations, they have power, but the main ones that are in power is the so-called white man, which are the Edomites all throughout the planet. And the scriptures say that Esau is the end of the world. So it says, they shall build, but I will throw down, and they shall call them. And these places where Esau is at, they shall call them the border of wickedness. Why? Because they are the wicked. So the borders of wickedness, meaning anywhere where you see the so-called white men at, these Edomites at, that's where the wicked dwell. And we read in the book of Matthew, it says, and the people, not just the man, because you have a lot of people say, well, you know, when you read the Bible in Malachi and Romans, it says that God hates Esau, so that he hates Esau the man. Well, here we're reading that, and the people against whom the Lord hath indignation forever. So he don't like none of yous. All right? He don't like none of yous, not a one of yous. All right? So all of yous is the wicked, you know, or are the wicked. It says, and they shall call them the border of wickedness, and the people against whom the Lord had indignation forever. And when we read here, we read that Esau they are the wicked. So wherever you see this man and his descendants, these are the wicked. And we read in Matthew 13 and 38, the field is the world, the good seed of the children of the kingdom, which are the Israelites, but the tares are the children of the wicked one. So the spiritual demon Satan has children on the planet Earth. You know, all nations have wicked among them, but there is one nation that is deemed to be the nation of the wicked, which are the Edomites. You know? Now let's go from there to the book of Ecclesiastes 33, and let's begin at 10. It says, and all men are from the ground, and Adam was created of earth. In much knowledge the Lord hath divided them, and made their ways diverse. And all men are not created equal, because the Most High made a diversity among all these nations. He separated the nations, and he gave them all a certain spirit. But he gave Israel, the Israelites, so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native American Indians, the greatest portion of a spirit that they can have. And this is why they're like the Most High on the earth. So who portrays being God on the earth among men? Beginning with the so-called Negroes on down, the rest of the tribes, mainly Judah, the so-called Negroes. You know, they have that godlike state on the planet. They could do the most amazing things on the planet, because out of all the people on the planet, Judah is the closest to the Most High. And then you have the other tribes. You see, it says some of them have he blessed and exalted, and some of them have he sanctified and set near himself. So the ones that he blessed and sanctified and exalted are who? The Israelites. But some of them hath he cursed and brought low and turned out of their places. So who are those? These are the Edomites, because the other nations just play the part of the vegetables and the gravy, you know, in the meal. You have the meat and you have the potatoes. You know, you have the meat, you have the starch. Jacob is with the meat and Esau is the starch. He's whether it's rice or potatoes, you know, or whatever the case, pommes frites, you know, whatever the hell they be. But the other nations are the peas and the carrots and the gravy and all of that in the meal. All right. So Esau is the ones that the Most High cursed and brought low. Matter of fact, let's go from there to the book of Isaiah 34. I mean, I had wrote some scriptures down in a particular order, but you know, we'll go in the spirit, because after all, it's the spirit of Yahweh Bashem Yahushua that's rolling. All right, so now let's go to Isaiah 34 and 5. For my sword shall be bathed in heaven. What heaven? Esau's heaven. Because they are in a position of rulership, because it was given into their hands, as we'll read on later on, Lord's will. It says, behold, it shall come down upon who? Upon Idumea. Now notice that here, they put the Greek equivalent, because Idumea is a Greek word. Now when we click on it, and we go to Idumea, it says Adam, but that's not the word. It's not Adam, it's Adawam. You know, and when these devils put this together, they're very slick in the way they do it. But the name is Adawam. When we read down here, let's see. They don't have it here on this particular one, but there are some what's the word I'm looking for? Some passages in the blue letter where it actually takes you to the actual Hebrew word, which is Adawam. It's not so Adawam, Edom, red. Okay, Edomite, Idumean, descendants of Esau. So you don't get it confused and think that that's speaking about somebody else. Matter of fact, let's look here. Let's see what they got here. I hate this fucking new setup. Before you said be able to see this thing here, this banner covers the vowel points here, and you can't click on it to take all these vowel points off. It used to be over here. You used to be able to click on it. It's fucking devils, man, bastards. Right here, look. We looked up the word Edom. Right down here it says what? For Edom or Idumea, where are you? Adam, but it's Adawam. And then when you read in the actual text, it says Adawam, Adawama. And the Y and the Ma at the end are connected. Adawam. That's the actual name for Edom, or for red. All right, not Adam, because they're trying to say that Adam was red. Adam was not red. Adam was a brown-skinned man. All right, different from Esau. All right, so let's read that again. For my sword shall be bathed in heaven. Behold, it shall come down upon Edom, or Idumea. and upon the people of my curse to judgment, because they are the people that are cursed of the Most High. They are cursed with the skin disease that they have, and they are also the ones that are set up to be destroyed at the end. So the Most High has them marked on all levels, going back to the mark of Cain, which was leprosy. You see? And this is why those devils in the what's the hell the name of them bastards? The Mormons. When you read their books, what they did was they wickedly spiritually flipped the story of Cain and the mark that was upon Cain, which the Most High turned Cain into a so-called white man, and they flipped it and said that the Lamanites, which are supposed to be the Gadites, were white at one time, but since they pissed the Most High off, he put a skin of blackness upon them. So they're saying that to be a so-called black person is to be, or a person of color is to be a cursed person. You see? So that's what they did. They spiritually flipped it. But these are the people of the Most High's curse, because when we read the scriptures, we find out that leprosy is when someone is so-called white with blonde hair. You know, that's the ultimate Edomite. You know, blonde hair, blue eye, you know, pale skin individual. But now to show you how deep and way out the Most High is, you have Israelites out there that look like that. Some Israelites out there look more pale and more like an Edomite than certain Edomites. And this is where the mystery is going to be, and the work is going to be so great, because there's going to be some that's going to be delivered that don't look the part. But it's not about looking the part. It's about what your spirit is in you. All right? So these Edomites are the Most High's, the people of the Most High's curse to judgment. As we're reading here in Ecclesiastes 12:12, it says, but some of them have he cursed and brought low and turned out of their way. As the clay is in the potter's hand to fashion it at his pleasure, so man is in the hand of him that made him, to render to them as liketh him best. So the Most High has a movie that he made, that he created, that he gave to his son Yahushua to put together, to find the right actors and everything, you know, the props, everything. And Yahushua took it and set it all up. Now you have in an actual movie, here it is, you got a physical man on the earth that puts a movie together. They have antagonists and protagonists, you know, but which is the good guy and the bad guy. But the Most High can't have a good guy and a bad guy in his film. So the Most High, and that's where you get the word theo. The word theos go back to the word theater, or the word theater goes back to the word theos, which means godlike. So, you know, so it's a spectacle, or an actual movie that goes on. So you have the good guy, which is Jacob, and you have the bad guy, which is Esau, and you have the extras, which are the other nations, just like the vegetables and the gravy on a plate. All right? It says, good is set against evil and life against death. So was the godly against the sinner and the sinner against the godly. So you have the godly nation, which is the nation of Israel, and you have the wicked nation, which is the nation of Esau. And they're set one against another. When we go back to the beginning, when we go back to the birth of Jacob and Esau, this was instilled from when Rebekah got pregnant. And the babies started growing in her womb, and they started fighting against each other. Why? Because those were the two main opposing forces of the earth, of good and evil. You see? It says, so look upon all the works of the Most High, and there are two and two, one against another. So there's always, everything that the Most High do, there's duality in it. You have hot, you have cold. You have light, you have dark. You know, so on and so forth. So there's many different, man, you son of a Salaki, brothers. Satan jumping on everything. Just bear with me 1 second. Bear with me 1 second. Oh, Lord. All right. So let's get back to it. So there's everything is set up in duality. All right. But the point that I want to get here before we go into that part is how it says as the clay is in the potter's hand. So let's go to Romans real quick, 9 and 19. Thou will say then, and this is the Apostle Paul speaking about Jacob and Esau. comparing these out of these two boys that were born from Isaac and Rebekah, the Most High created one to be the righteous and one to be the wicked. You know, and this is what the whole thing is about. It says, thou wilt say then unto me, why do thee yet find fault? So why is he going to find fault in Esau when he created Esau to be the wicked? Well, this is the point. For who has resisted his will? So no one can say to the Most High, well, you made them that way. The Most High is the potter. He'll do whatever he wants to do. It says, and he created them to be the wicked. For who hath resisted his will? No one has resisted his will. And when you read through the scriptures, this is an open challenge to anyone out there. Read through the Bible and find me a passage in there where it says that the sons of Japheth are the wicked. That the sons of Japheth would be the wicked. Show me that. And you're not going to find it. Because it's not the sons of Japheth that would be the wicked. Although you have wicked among them. Because the sons of Japheth are people of color. All right? That's who the sons of Japheth are. And when you look at the ancient arts and pictures and all that, you'll see that. You know, you so-called white people, you Edomites, you took over the whole world and painted your face as everybody. You even painted yourself as the face of the Heavenly Father and His Son, which are so-called black men, brown-skinned men with afros. That you changed and made the whole world believe that you were them. So you bought your own lie, dog. All right? So who has resisted the Most High's will? No one has resisted the Most High's will. All right? It says, nay, but, O man, who art thou that repliest against the Most High? You can't say shit to the Most High. It says, shall the thing, because the Most High said, my thoughts are not your thoughts, neither your ways my ways. You know, as the heavens are higher than the earth, so are my ways and your ways, and my thoughts and your thoughts. So you ain't got a goddamn thing to say. It says, shall the thing formed say to him that formed it, why hast thou made me thus? You can't jump up and say, well, why did you make me the wicked? You know? You just got to deal with it. It says, have not the potter power over the clay of the same lump? Which, what is the same lump? Because you have, if you have a potter, they'll have a big piece of clay. They'll take part of it and they'll make different types of vessels, and they'll make another part of it and make different. You know, you might have some conversation pieces. You might have some pieces like a toilet or ashtray or many other things, you know, something to wash your feet in. So can that clay jump up and tell the potter, yo, man, I want to be the conversation piece. I don't want to be something where somebody washing their feet in or something, one of those things that people spit into. A spit bucket. I want to be the honorable vessel. You can't tell a potter what the hell to do with the clay that belongs to him. It's the same thing you can't tell the Most High shit. Hath not the potter power over the clay of the same lump to make one vessel unto honor and another unto dishonor? So the vessel unto honor are the Israelites. The vessel unto dishonor are you Edomites. You see, you have the Israelites, you have the Edomites. So-called Negroes, Latinos, Native American Indians are the Israelites. So-called white people, you are the Edomites. And you are that vessel unto dishonor. And this is why you do what you do. Look at your history. Never mind what you say out your mouth. Look at your history and the things that you've done on the earth, the wickedness that you've done on the earth, how you destroyed the whole planet. Your actions do not show the actions of the people of the Lord. Now, on the other hand, the Israelites, so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native American Indians, although they have that destructive manner within them, although they do a lot of fucked up shit, but they have a conscience. That's why a lot of them, the majority of them, when they sell out, what happens? After a while, they want to get out of that, but they can't. Because they sold their soul to the devil. You see? You so-called white people, you don't have a conscience. It says, what if so let's stop right there. We'll come back to that. Now let's go from there to Ecclesiasticus 42. And let me see, 22. Oh, how desirable. You know what? I'm going straight to the point. All things are double one against another. And this is the whole point. We were reading Ecclesiasticus, the 33rd chapter. So look upon the works of the Most High, and there are two and two, one against another. So Ecclesiasticus 42 and 24. All things are double one against another, and he hath made nothing imperfect. So the Most High didn't make anything imperfect. So the righteous were made perfect in their making, and the wicked were made perfect in their making. because the Most High does both. He uses both sides. Verse 22, oh, how desirable are all his works, and that a man may say even to a spark, all these things live and remain forever for all uses, and they are all obedient. That's what the scriptures say. May you do good that are accustomed to doing evil. So you were created to be the wicked. You cannot step outside of that. You were programmed to be the wicked. Just like if you have a particular program on a computer that's created to do a certain specific task, it will do that task every time. Why? Because that's what it was programmed to do. You can't expect to open that program and make it do something different than it was programmed to do. It can't happen. It ain't gonna happen. So the same way that Esau is created to be the wicked, that's what they do, and they can't change that. Let's go real quick to what is that? Jeremiah 13 and 23. It says, "Can the Ethiopian change his skin, or the leopard his spots?" I mean, now they got bleaching and shit, but technically, an Ethiopian cannot change the color of his skin. Neither can a leopard rearrange the spots, on his fur. Then may ye also do good that are accustomed to doing evil. So you're accustomed to doing evil. That's what you were created for. And the word evil is what? Accustomed is what? Lamawad, which is a variation of the word lamad, which you see here, which means to learn. It says taught, learned, discipled, taught, accustomed to something. So now how are they the ones that are accustomed to be the wicked? Well, let's go to Psalms 58 real quick. See, the scriptures got you covered, man, on all levels, from all angles. Anywhere you go, you go this way, they got you. The Most High got you. You go that way, the Most High got you. You try to come another way, the Most High drop a dime on you, okay? That's inside joke. But Isaiah 58 and 3. So the Most High got you covered on all angles, man. You can't outslick the greatest slickster, ever. You're trying to weasel out of it. You're trying to slide. You're trying to grease your body up and slide out. You can't slide out of it, man. You're done. You're finished. You were created to be the wicked. God damn it, play your part. Psalms 58 and 3. The wicked are estranged from the womb. So why are they accustomed to doing evil? Because from the womb, that's what they were created to do. This is why there was such a big fight in the womb of Rebekah with Jacob and Esau. Because you had two opposing forces in there. And they were going at each other. I mean, they were getting down. You hear Apostle Elder Tar every once in a while, he'll break it down, where he said that there was a major fight going in there, an MMA tournament. And that's why she couldn't sleep. She had look, man, I got blessed to get pregnant, but what the hell is going on? So she had to go inquire of a prophet. Man, it says the wicked are estranged from the womb, and this is why they are accustomed to doing evil, because it's programmed in them. Programmed. They go astray as soon as they be born, speaking lies. Why? Because their DNA and their makeup and their spirit is made up to be the wicked. But you Israelites that are supposed to be the righteous, you're trying to get them to be righteous when you're going off in another direction. You're supposed to be the righteous. You're supposed to be the example. But what are you doing? You're following after them. Let's go real quick to Proverbs. That's why 2/3 of you are going to be destroyed, man. If you keep down that path, you don't repent, the Most High is going to destroy you. If you're the 2/3, you ain't going to make it anyway. Proverbs 12 and... is it Proverbs 12? I had it a moment ago in my mind, but thought it was Proverbs, the 12th chapter. Okay, let's see. Proverbs 12:26. Okay, I went to the 16th chapter. It says, the righteous is more excellent than his neighbor, but the way of the wicked seduceth them. So you're being seduced by the wicked. you know, and you're doing wicked things, but you're trying to make them be righteous, and you're doing wicked shit. I to err, wander, go astray, stagger, go away from what? From righteousness, which you were created to be. And that's why shit don't work out for you. Don't work out for us. Why? Because we got curses upon us that are slowly being lifted. All right. So Psalms 58:3. The wicked are estranged from the womb. They go astray as soon as they be born, speaking lies. Their poison is like the poison of a serpent. What is this poison? This is the venom, of their lies that they paint to the world as being so helpful and benevolent. And then when you start to deal with their shit, you get stung. You see, it works for them because that's who they are. It don't work for you. That formula don't work in your engine, so to speak. Just like you got two cars, they have an engine, radiator, and all that. Some cars have what? They use that orange radiator. Some cars use a yellow radiator. If you put the yellow radiator in the orange one, what happens? It's gonna break it down. It don't belong in there. So when you are Israelite, you do wickedness, that don't belong in you. That's where you get fucked up. That's where we get fucked up. But Esau, when they try to do the right thing, they can't do the right thing because it's not in their makeup. The Lord didn't give them that oil, the oil of righteousness. He gave them the oil of wickedness, man. You trying to... Oh, Lord. Is their poison is like the poison of a serpent. They are like the deaf adder that stoppeth the ear. They ain't going to listen, man. Because they're not made to listen. They're made to be the wicked, which will not hearken to the voice of charmers, charming never so wise. And they have the prophets out there speaking to them, breaking it down to them properly. And they ain't listening. What makes you think they're going to listen to a snaggle-tooth individual like yourself? They ain't hearing what you got to say, man. They don't believe in the Most High. But when they will believe, when the Most High start opening up on them and busting their ass. When he starts destroying them. So it says, that's a good one. And shalom to the Akim and Akbath on the comment board. The elder... Not the Zakba, Ecclesiastes 21:27. When the ungodly curses Satan, he curseth his own soul. That's right. That's right. That's right. All right, so now let's go from there back to where we were at. Where were we? Okay, we read that. That's Ecclesiastes 16, right? No, 12 and 26. I keep saying 16. All right, so now where were we? Okay, so let's go to from there to Isaiah 45:7. Isaiah chapter 45 verse 7. I form the light and create darkness. I make peace and create evil. I, the Lord, do all these things. So why is it so hard for people to understand that the Most High creates both sides? You know why? Because they've been indoctrinated to believing that God is good all the time. That's a mantra. That is embedded in their minds. All right. So now let's go from there to the book of 1 John. The 5th chapter. Excuse me. And the 19th verse. Let me bring this back here because it's going to be Lord's will, the next precept. 1 John 19. And we know that we are of the Most High, and the whole world lieth in wickedness. So this whole world is under a demonic vibration. Why is this whole world under a demonic vibration? Let's go to Job 9:24. It says, the earth is given into the hand of the wicked, because the possession of the earth is under the hands of a wicked person. So when a wicked person controls something, what do you think is going to happen? Nothing but wickedness. So the earth is given into the hand of the wicked. He covered the faces of the judges thereof. If not, where and who is he? So now let's go to Ecclesiastes 3:16. And moreover, I saw under the sun the place of judgment, that wickedness was there. Why? Because the Edomites, which are the wicked, as we read in Malachi, the 1st chapter, are in control of the earth. And they're pushing their agenda upon the earth. Although they have the scriptures. Although they have the right way, they don't follow the right way. Let's go to Psalms chapter 50, verse 16. It says, but unto the wicked, who's that? The Edomites. The Most High saith, what hast thou to do to declare my statutes? Did not they make 1983 the year of the Bible? Did not they say that this country was set up under so-called Christian values, the values of the Most High, the values of the Bible? So why is it that when you look at what they say, that they're Bible-believing people and they're set up after the Bible, so on and so forth, but then when you look at their actions, their laws and all of that, it goes totally against what the scriptures say? Well, there's a reason for that. They are the wicked. It's ingrained in them from birth. It's in their spirit. It's in their DNA. And the only time they'll use the Bible or anything that's righteous is when it benefits them to push their agenda. But then once that right way veers away from what they want, then they veer away from righteousness. So-called, and to them is not righteousness. They veer from the instructions of righteousness, which it says here, but unto the wicked the Most High says, what hast thou to do to declare my statutes, or that thou shouldest take my covenant in thy mouth, seeing thou hatest instruction and castest my words behind thee? That's what it says, let favor be shown to the wicked, yet will they not learn righteousness. So they got the book, they got the instruction, they got the prophets, and they still can't get it right. Because it's not meant for them to get it right. They're set up to be destroyed. All right, so now let's go from there. Let's go back. So Isaiah 24:5, it says, the earth also was defiled under the inhabitants thereof, because they have transgressed the laws, changed the ordinance, broken the everlasting covenant. And they have the Bible, so they can't say that they don't have it. And this is why it says, and moreover I saw under the sun, in Ecclesiastes 3:16, and moreover I saw under the sun the place of judgment, which is what? Here on earth, that wickedness was there. Why? Because the wicked are ruling. The earth is given into the hand of the wicked. And the place of the righteous, that iniquity was there. You see over there in the land of Israel what's going on? Nothing but wickedness over there. How many nations do you see that are trying to pack up and go over there and try to learn the ways of these Amalekites that are in that land? They claim to be the people of the Lord. They claim to be the Jews. How many nations on the planet Earth are trying to go over there and learn of their ways to be closer to the Most High? None of them. And there's still wars on the planet Earth. The Lord said when he establishes his people back on the planet Earth, there's not going to be any more wars. All nations will come flocking to the people of the Lord to learn of the ways of the Lord. Because if what them people are doing are the ways of the Lord, then I don't want to know about those ways. And we know that those are not the ways of the Lord. Yeah, well, it is the ways of the Lord. The ways of the Lord are the fly, Beelzebub. It's not the way of the Most High, Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. So, and there's so many angles you could come at this devil with. And that's what they don't want to deal with. They want to deal with technicality. Oh, well, this particular translation of the Bible is the closest, so if we deal with this and we go back into the hymeneticals, whatever the hell them different words that they use, and into the easy Jesus or the exegesis, and this over here, and then when you go into this pronunciation, that's what Esau is good at, debating bullshit. But when it comes to the facts of the scriptures and the prophecies, they can't deal with that. And that's why they try to bring us outside of the truth of the scriptures to go into their bullshit, because that's what they're good at. That's the devil's playground. That's what they're good at that circumlocution and going back and forth, because they don't get tired of that. A sane person would be like, you know what, man, I'm not doing this no more. I'm going fucking around in circles with your ass. This is fucking a waste of time. You see? So, in the place of righteousness, that iniquity was there. So bottom line, they are the devil. They're not going to get it right, because the earth is given into their hands. So now let's go to 1 Maccabees, the 1st chapter. And let's go to the 7th verse. It says, so Alexander reigned 12 years. And when you understand who Alexander is, Alexander the Creep, we call him, Alexander the so-called Great, which was an Edomite who claimed to be a Macedonian or a Greek, that conquered the known world at the time. And we read about his empire in the book of Daniel, the second chapter, in the book of Daniel, the 7th chapter, in the book of Revelation, the 13th chapter. So in the book of Maccabees that we're reading now. So this was when the Greeks came into power, but they weren't Greeks by nationality. That was something that they took upon themselves, because they took over the lands of Europe, conquered the actual Japhetic people, the dark-skinned people of Japhet, brown-skinned people of Japhet, and planted themselves in there, because this is where the wicked were going to rise and gain power of the whole earth. And notice that the major empires that really ruled was really Edomites. You had the Greeks, the Romans, and they fell. Jake ruled for a period of 1,000 years. You had Ishmael in there, and the nations a little here and there. But the major powers of the earth have been who? Have been Esau ruling. And then when they came back into power during the Renaissance period and established themselves again, it's all Edomite nations that are ruling. Now you got Moab, coming up. You have other nations kind of coming up, but the major players of the planet are Edomites. It says, so Alexander reigned 12 years and then died, and his servants bare rule every one in his place. And after his death, they all put crowns upon themselves. So they all set up as kings, because the earth is given into the hand of the wicked, beginning with Alexander the Creep. So did their sons after them many years, and evils were multiplied in the earth. Why? Because they are the wicked. And even out of this wicked spawn, it says, and there came out of them a wicked root, Antiochus surnamed Epiphanes, and they were all wicked. All right, so now let's go from there. Let's go to the book of Psalms, chapter 12 and verse 8. It says, the wicked walk on every side when the vilest men are exalted. So we read that once this devil took over, Alexander the Creep, and he fell, or should I say he died, and his servant, his other compatriots, his so-called white compatriots, the Edomite compatriots, took over. And after his death, they all put crowns upon themselves. So did their sons after them many years. And evils were multiplied in the earth. So evils started to multiply in the earth. So the vilest men started rising up. Why? Because the wicked walk on every side when the vilest men are exalted. And this is why they're pushing that agenda on the planet. And people are all into that now. They openly coming out and accepting shit that is violent. They knowing their spirit is wrong. And this is why the Most High has to take this devil out. Let me see, is that Psalms 126? Nope, let's try 125. Right, Psalms 125 and 3. For the rod of the wicked, which is the correction of the wicked, shall not rest upon the lot of the righteous, which are the Israelites, lest the righteous put forth their hands unto iniquity. Why? Because the ways of the wicked seduced them. And we read that when the wicked walk on every side when the vilest men are exalted. There's not a viler person than Esau on the planet. They're violent in the earth, as it says in the book of Job. These cavemen that were ever reputed as being nothing now have taken hold of the planet, and everybody's lauding them like they're these great people, but they are nothing but the wicked. And everything that they have, they stole. So these achievements that people are lauding them for are ideas and things that they stole from the dark nations. So how great really are they? And everything that they do is a formula that they've gotten from somebody else. There's no originality in these devils. Then you got another jump up calling themselves the Aryan race. You even stole that. The original Aryans were the East Indians, are the East Indians. And you stole that from them. So you so-called white people, you Edomites, you have no originality. The only thing that you are the Edomites, the wicked. But you don't want to be that. It confuses the hell out of me. All right, so now let's go from there to Proverbs, building on that, evils were multiplied on the earth. Proverbs 29 and 2. It says, when the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice. Matter of fact, you know what? Let me just jump to the 16th verse first. When the wicked are multiplied, see, did we not just read that in Psalms? The 12th chapter, transgression increaseth. So evils were multiplied on the earth. So why did transgressions increase on the planet Earth? Because the wicked are in control. The wicked took power. The earth was given into the hand of the wicked. And they are doing the wicked things. It says, but the righteous shall see their fall, because eventually we're going to see them fall. Now, verse 2 says, when the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice. People are not rejoicing. They're catching hell. But when the wicked beareth rule, the people mourn. So we know that the wicked are in rulership just based off of the condition of the earth and the condition of the people on the earth. And if you are not blind, you can see that the Edomites, the so-called white people, are the wicked. And they're ruling. And their rulership is about to come to an end. Now let's go to Proverbs 28 and 12. When righteous men do rejoice, there is great glory. But when the wicked rise, a man is hidden. What man? A man of wisdom. Because no one wants to hear the truth when wickedness is ruling. Now let's jump down to the 28th verse. When the wicked rise, men hide themselves, but when they perish, the righteous increase. And this is why this devil must go down in order for the kingdom of heaven to be established, the kingdom of Yahushai / Yasha'Allah. Because they are the wicked. And they're about to feel the pain. Let me go to a couple of these precepts here. Matter of fact, let me go to 2nd Ezra real quick. And then I'll read a couple of other precepts I have here, and then we can close the lesson out. 2nd Ezra chapter 6, verse 7. It says, then answered I and said, what shall be the parting asunder of the times? Or when shall be the end of the first and the beginning of it that followeth? Because when this devil goes down, then righteousness can reign again on the earth. And this is what we're waiting for. It says, and he said unto me, from Abraham unto Isaac, when Jacob and Esau were born of him, Jacob's hand held first the heel of Esau. So this is when righteousness and wickedness, of the people of the righteous and the people of the wicked were established even more firmly on the earth after the flood. Because you always had wickedness in the earth. You always had righteousness in the earth. But you had two people that represented the righteous and the wicked. And that is Jacob the righteous and Esau the wicked. It says, for Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that follows. So we know that at the end, Esau would be ruling. And this is the reason that one of the main people or nation that the Lord is going to visit when he comes back are who? The Edomites. Who is it that cometh from Edom with dyed garments? All right, now let's go to a couple of these pieces. Let's see what this says. Proverbs 26 and 26. Whose hatred is covered by deceit, his wickedness shall be showed before the whole congregation. And we're showing through the Spirit who the wicked are. The elder Menatazakba put on a comment board earlier, 2 Thessalonians, the 2nd chapter, how the wicked is being revealed and afterward destroyed by the brightness of the Lord's coming. So the wicked is being revealed now by the mouth of the Most High, which is the mouth of the prophets. Whose hatred is covered by deceit, his wickedness shall be showed before the whole congregation. And the scriptures say that those that see it are going to hide themselves. Yahushua told the people back then what? He said, when you see these things happen in Jerusalem compassed with armies, know that the desolation thereof is nigh. So flee into the mountains. Get the hell out. This time we're doing it what? Mentally. All right, now let's go from there to Isaiah 26 and 18. And it's a vexation to see these devils still in rulership. King David even said, man, he was livid. He said, man, I washed my hands in vain. I did the right thing and, all in vain because these motherfuckers are ruling and they're wicked as fuck. But he said, but then I understood when I came into that sanctuary, then I understood their latter end. You see? And this is why the scriptures say, the envy not the wicked or something like that. Something along those lines. Isaiah 26:18. We have been with child. We have been in pain. We have, as it were, brought forth wind. Yeah, because we're ready for deliverance. But it seems like we haven't, because we haven't been delivered yet. But it's coming. We have not wrought any deliverance in the earth. Neither have the inhabitants of the world fallen. But now we're seeing, we're seeing slowly but surely their kingdom being chipped away. Let's go to 2nd Ezra 13 and 31. It says, and one shall undertake to fight against another, one city against another, one place against another. No, that's not the right one. Oh yeah, it is. It is against another. And the time shall be when these things shall come to pass, and the signs shall. No, that's not it. Just bear with me 1 second. Oh no, Salakia starts at 35. But he shall stand upon the top of Mount Zion, dealing with Yahushai. And Zion shall come and shall be showed to all men, because the world is going to know who the real Israelites are. The so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native American Indians. The world is going to see this. Being prepared and build it. Because that's what's happening right now. The tabernacles of David are being builded and shown to the world. Like as thou sawest the hill graven without hands. And this, my son, shall rebuke the wicked inventions of those nations. So Esau is going to be destroyed when Yahushua comes back. Verbally now they're being exposed, but then Yahushua comes, he's going to destroy them. Their wicked inventions, which for their wicked life are fallen into the tempest. And shall lay before them their evil thoughts. See, because they're thinking that they're going to rule forever, but they're not. It says, and the torments wherewith they shall begin to be tormented, because they're going into slavery. And this is a reason, one of the main reasons why Esau has a problem with the message that we're preaching and speaking, which is the message of the scriptures, because their part is not good for them. When they were in rulership, our part was not good for us. You know, our people were in slavery. You know, they were killed. You know, our women were raped. You know, they took our lands, our gold, our part in your movie was not good. So your part in our movie is not going to be good, which is not our movie. It's the movie of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. It says, which are like unto a flame, and he shall destroy them without labor by the law which is like unto me, because the law is still in effect. And these laws that they claim to believe in and are breaking is going to be one of the main witnesses outside of the prophets, which are speaking the laws of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, that are going to judge this devil. All right. So now let's go from there to the 15th chapter. And the 6th verse. For wickedness hath exceedingly polluted the whole earth, and their hurtful works are fulfilled. And this, through their greed, they have destroyed this whole planet. You know, this planet is working on fumes. It's only through the mercies of Yahweh Bashem Yahushua that is still working. And among Jake, you know, and among, you know, the poor, whoever out there, they're pumping so many pollutants and chemicals into the water, to the air, to the food, that is making a lot of people sterile. You know, and it's making reproduction of the earth dwindle, to show you how wicked these bastards are. You know, it says, therefore said the Lord, I will hold my tongue no more as touching their wickedness. So the Most High is not going to hold his tongue anymore. This devil got to go down. The Most High is visiting this earth now, which they profanely commit. Neither will I suffer them in those things in which they wickedly exercise themselves, because they profanely commit these things. The word profane means outside of the temple, outside of the boundaries of the scriptures. It says, neither will I suffer them in those things in which they wickedly exercise themselves. Why? Because they have the power to do good or evil, but they choose to do the evil. Why? Because it's in their makeup, it's in their DNA. Behold, the innocent and righteous blood crieth unto me, and the souls of the just complain continually. So the Israelites that died and went back to the Father are cursing Esau out, asking the Lord when He's going to destroy them. And we that are alive down here are asking the Lord when He's going to take this devil out. Now let's go to from there, Proverbs 16:4. Like I said, I got a couple more precepts we could close the lesson out. It's starting to dwindle down. Proverbs 16:4. The Lord hath made all things for Himself, yea, even the wicked for the day of evil. So they were created as that potter created. Romans 9:22. What if the Most High, willing to show His wrath and to make His power known, endured with much long suffering the vessels of wrath fitted to destruction? So the Lord is enduring your bullshit because He is bound by His word. And this is the only reason why you're still in power. But once the prophecies are fulfilled to a certain degree, you're finished, you're done. Let's go real quick back to Isaiah 34 and 5. It says, for my sword shall be bathed in heaven. Behold, it shall come down upon Idumea and upon the people of my curse to judgment, because you were set up and created to be the wicked, to show the world what it is to be wicked, and to show the penalty for being wicked. You were that model of wickedness. God damn. The model of wickedness. That's a lesson right there. The sword of the Lord is filled with blood. It is made fat with fatness, and with the blood of lambs and goats, with the fat of the kidneys of rams. For the Lord Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai had the sacrifice in Basra, and a great slaughter in the land of Idumea, which the land of Idumea today represents America, which is their capital. America would be like Basra, the capital of Esau. All right, so let's see what else we got. Let's read this real quick. Isaiah 63:1. Who is this that cometh from Edom with dyed garments from Basra? This Yahushai. This that is glorious in his apparel, traveling in the greatness of his strength. I that speak in righteousness, mighty to save. So Yahushai is coming to take this devil out. And you can read the rest. This is the book of Psalms, chapter 7, verse 9. It says, oh, let the wickedness of the wicked come to an end. And that's what's happening right now. But establish the just, for the righteous power trieth the hearts and the reins. So at the same time, we're prophesying the downfall of the wicked, the Edomites, we're also prophesying the upliftment and establishing of the righteous, which are the Israelites, so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native American Indians. My defense is of the Most High, which saveth the upright in heart. Now let's go to the last precept, Psalms 10 and 15. Break thou the arm of the wicked and the evil man. Seek out his wickedness till thou find none. And this is what's happening right now. So the Most High is letting this devil build up. So when He reigns on this devil, there's gonna be nothing left of Esau. No rulership, nothing. The only thing that they have to look forward to is that 1,000 years of hardcore slavery. That's it. Nothing else. And then after that 1,000 years of hardcore slavery, then they will be rounded up and burnt. And that is the judgment of the Edomites, Esau, the Edomites. Per the word of Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai. This is the Most High's program. That's the ending of the movie. That's a good one, brother GMS Rataza'Allah. Psalms 9 and 17. The wicked shall be turned into hell, and all the nations that forget the Most High, meaning that they will be destroyed. So pretty much, that No, you know what? Let me finish this out. The Lord is king forever and ever. The heathens are perished out of his land. Yeah, because there's not going to be no more wicked or even the other nations in the land of Israel ruling. If they do come in there, they're going to be working. Lord, thou hast heard the desire of the humble. Thou wilt prepare their heart. Thou wilt cause thine ear to hear, to judge the fatherless and the oppressed, that the man of the earth may no more oppress. How hath the oppressor ceased? The golden city ceased. This devil is done. He's finished. We're just waiting for the Lord to just remove him from off his throne, so to speak. So with that, I pray that you brothers have been edified. Till the next time I say Shalom. Died and went back to the father, are cursing Esau out. asking the Lord when He's going to destroy them. And we that are alive down here are asking the Lord when He's going to take this devil out. Now let's go to from there, Proverbs 16:4. Like I said, I got a couple more precepts we could close the lesson out. It's starting to